Now, governments have imposed vaccine mandates to fight the new Omicron surge, resulting in massive protests across Europe. Here's a quick roundup. Now, protests continue to gather steam in Spain, with hundreds of protesters marching on the streets of Barcelona and Bilbao to protest against the COVID-19 passes. The passes are mandatory to enter bars, restaurants, and gyms. Spain has a nationwide vaccination rate of nearly 80%, while the country's infection rate rose above 500 cases per 100,000 people, crossing the threshold of the very high-risk category. Spain has recorded over 5.46 million cases and more than 88,000 deaths since the pandemic began. Hundreds of protesters gathered in Italy's Turin to protest against the government-imposed restrictions to fight the Omicron variant. Italy has announced a state of emergency caused by COVID-19, and now residents require a green pass. The state of emergency, introduced in January last year, gives greater powers to the central government. It was set to expire at the end of December. Now, the green pass shows if someone has received at least one jab of COVID-19 vaccine, has tested negative for the virus, or recently recovered from the illness. All tourists from EU countries are also required to take a test before departure. Italy has around 80% inoculation rate. Only around 15% of the total population have had a booster shot. Protests turned ugly in Germany's Frankfurt after protesters clashed with the police. A few of them were detained, while protests in Dusseldorf remained largely peaceful. The demonstrations were against the government's COVID-19 measures. Just last week, Parliament passed a new legislation saying that all health workers must prove that they are vaccinated or have recovered from COVID-19. The deadline was set to mid-March of next year. Now, the new legislation also allows for Germany's 16 federal states to close bars and restaurants, as well as to ban large events due to the high infection rates. A recent survey found that more than 3/4 of Germans were in favor of the severe restrictions on the unvaccinated, while 21% did not think it was the right course.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.